City of Stevens Point Board of Park Commissioners meeting, recorded December 7th, 2020.
It's 5 o'clock then, so we could start the special meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners for December 7th. We'll come to order, please. And Dan, would you please read the roll call?
You bet. So I'm going to mark Freckman excused. Gladesky?
Here.
Paul?
Here.
Kirsch is excused. McDonald?
Here.
O'Connor?
Here.
Shabilsky?
Here.
Sure, I do not see yet. Slowinski?
Here.
Sorensen's excused. And Zerzua?
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Wonderful. All right, item number 2, approval of December 2nd, 2020 meeting minutes.
I approve.
Okay, Sue has moved for approval.
Second.
All right, I saw the light under Mike. I guess I'll say Mike was the second on that. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, the minutes have been approved. Item number 3, approval of Buchholz Park playground location. Dan.
Okay, so I sent in the packet an attachment, which I'm going to go ahead and share the screen on. As you recall, last week the Park Commission chose not to take action. We tabled the location. After we had the meeting, we did have a discussion with the designer, just talking through timeline, and we felt that it was important to get the location because we need to do some site work and some grading, some things to investigate for the actual design. That with not having snow, it'd be great to do some of this here in December. So we wanted to go ahead and ask for a special meeting. I appreciate the Park Commission getting together tonight. As you recall, last week we had talked about the prime location of our preference being where this red outlined area is here on the north end. Park Commission brought up some great points that caused us to go down and investigate further. The big items that this did not account for was the close proximity to the lodge, the couple trees that would impact in this area, as well as the number of events that do take place in and around the lodge. So we went down the site, and we originally were looking in this area, and actually I think Commissioner O'Connor met with us and we took a walk. We have put the green circle trail in this spot now that goes through the woods up in here. So this is not as big as what this aerial photo actually shows. So where it led us to is, as we walked around the park, we actually identified this yellow area where there's a current existing volleyball court as the location that staff felt the most appropriate. The reason for it is that it's close enough to the lodge. It's far enough away from the roadway. It's actually quite a bit further than these two. But additionally, there's some really nice parking area right adjacent to it where we could put a nice accessible pathway into it. Other pros of this site are that with the volleyball court, it's already had soils that we know we should be able to core through and put the footings in. And the tree impact, there's a big enough open area in there that we don't believe will have to affect any trees. We just need to do some root pruning that our city forester felt confident they could facilitate. One thing though, nothing comes without any sort of hurdles. This site, after we started going further, can everyone see this utility map?
Yeah.
Okay, one thing that we learned after we sent the packet out is that there is a water lateral that runs, this is not exact, this is just a map that's pretty close, right through the middle of this. So what we did do since that we found that out is we talked to the utility department, and they have said as long as we would confirm that it's deep enough, which we believe it's 6 feet, that they would not be opposed to us putting the playground above it. So we're going to work with the utilities. We can do what's called probing. Basically, just we take a vac truck and try to find how deep it is exactly. But we believe we can design around this if we would pick this location. Because of this conflict, staff wanted though to outline, and because of the timeline, rather than having another meeting, we wanted to ask for ultimately the ability to locate another location if it doesn't work. So my recommendation to the committee tonight is this would be where we try to place the playground, and we would work with utilities to make that work. If it doesn't, staff, as we've met, we actually feel that the current location would be the best alternative. But this site would have really 2 drawbacks. One would be we have to build it up. So we'd have to bring fill in and actually bring the area up, which would require some regrading. The fill material, it might impact the size of the playground a little bit. Number two, it's close proximity to the road. So the parking would be up here, but it is very close where we would have to orient it. It's just not as, it's closer to the road. But we believe that is a suitable second alternative. The red location is still nice in certain capacities, but we believe this would be the last alternative now since we've added this lot further. So what I'm asking is staff would recommend this being number one. And if for some reason that water lateral would not work, we would use this as number two. And unless we ran into something that was really catastrophic, we would only utilize this in an absolutely worst case scenario.
Great. Does anyone have any questions for Dan?
Yeah. Cost-wise, like to fill the current site, is it a lot more than say if using the yellow, the site one?
The biggest thing would be we'd try to locate, if we could use city fill, which we've not dug into, but we think we might, that'd be a possibility. It would just be the transportation if we could do it with city crews or if we'd have to have it contracted. But some of the regrading would definitely add more time. Other than that, so whatever we'd put additional into the grading work, we'd have to probably take off the playground budget, but we have not forecasted that. I don't think it's going to be, say, like 20% of the budget or anything, but I would say it would be a few $1,000s to several that could impact it. So it would be less expensive to put it in the yellow. The exact dollar amount would not be known right now.
Okay.
Dan, wasn't there some discussion of drain tiles or something needed if we use that site, the current one?
So if we use the current site, we would end up building up that location. So we would fix the water issue where the playground is. So we would have to drain that water either off into the park, which is going to displace the water, or we would have to design a swale, or we'd have to design a piping system to get it out of there, because that one area would be built up and everything else would be where it is existing. So we can design to that, but those are some of the costs that would be additional that we'd have to do.
Makira, did you have a comment or a question?
No, I mean, basically the comment that the director just added, that it might flood other parts of that area if we build up the current playground site.
Great. Any further discussion regarding this or these alternatives?
This is Alder Slowinski. I think the primary location is a good spot. It's kind of tucked away from the road. You have good parking right there. I guess the only question I have is, obviously you're taking away the volleyball area. How often is that used? I don't frequent the park enough to see. I mean, are we gonna, take away another user's opportunity to play volleyball in there? I guess that's my only question. Thanks.
Good. That's a good question too. We did talk about that. So the current volleyball court, if you actually look at it, based on its use, the area that actually is outlined, it started to grow in already, probably from lack of use, essentially, just from not having the sand used that much. What we believe is that we actually could create the volleyball court in another spot easier than the areas that we need, or this large space that we need for the playground. So our approach would be, initially we'd take it out, and if we would have user groups that would request it, when we've not received that through our office, we don't really have any phone calls or anybody saying, boy, we're using this a lot, but that may come up, that we would then try to relocate that in maybe a spot closer to the Green Circle Trail or another area of the park. And that's not as involved because there's no concrete work. Really, you're just talking about the 2 footings for the posts. So we believe there's more flexibility to locate if we need that again in the park.
Sounds good. Thank you.
This reminds me of when we were building the band shell and we had the sawdust. We had to move it, the whole thing, and redo everything, the footings and everything, because of the sawdust, and then it put us back a lot, and then we had to raise more money. So it's like, but anyway, it sounds good.
Great. Yeah, if you get a chance, if you were not able to get out there today, take a chance, or excuse me, take a few minutes to go down and walk around and check those sites out. But I think staff has done a really good job in coming up with a good proposal for that initial site. And where the playground currently is, if we have a drainage issue there, I would think there might be some concern about drainage going off and affecting the roots of the large white pine that are right around that site too. So anyway, any other comments or discussion, questions for Dan?
I have one question.
Okay.
Director, are you looking for a motion that would look at prioritizing those sites? Like, we're not looking to solely approve the one site, right?
Correct. If the motion could include really locating it there, but if that site, because of the water lateral, would not check out, that we would then go with the existing site as the backup and not have a subsequent meeting to talk through that challenge.
Okay. Well, I'd like to make a motion to relocate the playground to the current volleyball court site at Buchholz. But if it doesn't work out because of the water utilities underneath, then to locate it at the current playground site.
I second.
Okay, Sue has made a second. All right, it's moved and seconded. You heard the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Thank you very much. And thank you for the tour today and for all the work of staff again, Dan.
You bet.
Great. Motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Jeremy. Second?
Second.
Okay. Mike seconded. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Opposed, no. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
See you in
Yeah,
January.
you too. Thanks.
Nice, have
Bye.
a nice holiday, people.
Yeah. Merry
Thank you, you
Christmas.
too.
Yeah,
See you in January.
you too, everyone.
Videos of these meetings are available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.